Marcus Persson, aka Notch, has been a Forbes billionaire since 2015 for creating Minecraft, but his name was removed from the very game he created. He gave the world its best-selling game, but that same world hates him today. In today's video, let's learn why this happened and why he is so controversial. Before exploring his controversies, let's learn a little about Notch first, like what his early life was like and how Minecraft was made. So he was born in Sweden. By the time he was 7 years old, he started coding on his father's Commodore 128 computer, and he developed his first game at only 8 years of age. So he was born a nerd. Later, he worked as a game developer at King. You may know about King as the developer of the Candy Crush game. After that, he worked as a programmer for J Album, and in his free time, he created 7 games for competitions. He was also a co-founder of the MMORPG Worm Online. Due to his high IQ and his genius for creating Minecraft, he has also become a member of Mensa, but little did he know that he was going to become the most hated man because of his own creation. But before that, you have to understand how he created Minecraft. So apart from his job, he used to develop games in his free time, be it for competitions or just for himself. And he had learned many programming languages by working on several browser games. One of his personal projects was Ruby Dung. It was a base building game inspired by Dwarf Fortress. He used the first-person mode in Ruby Dung, but didn't continue with it because the graphics were too pixelated. Then a game was released that sowed the seed of the biggest-selling game in his mind. It was the ENQUIRIES, a block-based mining game, released in April 2009, and it gave him the idea of how to progress with a Ruby Dung game. That's why Minecraft has many similarities with ENQUIRIES, be it visual style, first-person mode, or block building. But Notch wanted to introduce RPG elements to it, so he developed the game in just 1 week and released it in May 2009 under the name Java Edition. He had also uploaded a video of it on YouTube, and he released a test version of it in the TIG source forums, where he was already quite active. 40 copies of the game were sold in the first week, for which he charged £8. He kept on improving the game according to the feedback he received from the public, and today it is called the classic version. After almost a year, a major update was introduced in the game, which was called the Alpha version. And as I said, he had already switched his job from King to J Album. But to focus more on Minecraft, he worked part-time rather than full-time. Sales of the Alpha version were increasing, although he didn't spend a single dime on marketing. According to him, it gained traction only due to word of mouth. And because of that, he had to leave his job entirely to focus on his game. He then kept on updating the game, adding new blocks, mobs, items, and even a survival mode. With the money he earned from the game, he set up a company called Mojang. One of its co-founders is Jacob Porser, who used to work with Notch at King. It also includes Carl Mane, who was the CEO of J Album. And considering his experience, he was also made the CEO of Mojang. On December 11, 2010, Notch announced that the game was in the beta testing phase, and the upcoming updates were all going to be free. Many new employees were hired to help with the development. And finally, after a year, on November 18, 2011, the game was fully released, which is also called version 1.0.0. Only 2 weeks later, on December 1, Notch left the position of lead designer for the game. He was replaced by Jens Bergensten, aka Jay. After its release, the graph of Minecraft was just going higher. It had completed sales of 15 million, through which Notch had earned £45 million. He had become a celebrity among gamers, and people gave him the name by which everybody now knows him today, Notch. Yes, it means Jesus. So you can imagine the level of popularity he had. People even used to recognize him when he went to a bar or a cafe. The craze for the game was such that 3 million people used to play it every week. Even the first Minecraft event, Minecon, saw the participation of about 4,500 people from 23 different countries, including a 4-year-old kid and a 77-year-old grandpa. So people from all age groups were playing this game because it was like a digital version of Lego, where you could build stuff using blocks. Although there was already a digital building game called The Sims where you could place pre-made structures, but in Minecraft you had full freedom to make anything you wanted, from the Taj Mahal to a spaceship to a working calculator. And this is why the game was considered the best game of the last decade. And for Notch, it was said that he had single-handedly changed the gaming industry. Everything was going well. But then what happened? Within 2 years, he tweeted about selling Mojang. See, Notch wasn't a very public person. He was not particularly fond of being in the limelight or of fame. He was still a nerdy programmer inside who liked to party with friends. So long as people liked him, everything was great. But once he started getting some hate, he got frustrated. Now, you'd ask why he was getting hate. So it was 2014. Minecraft had become very successful, and many popular servers were run by third-party developers. For example, Mineplex was a server that had 100 million registered users. These servers used to make modifications to the game so that people could play online and have fun. But there was a problem with these servers. Most of them were pay to win, meaning that wealthy gamers could spend money and buy powerful swords or other items so that they could play the game better. And to take action against this, Mojang gave out a statement that they won't allow pay-to-win elements in servers. According to them, server owners can accept donations, sell skins, or charge a fee to enter the server, but they can't sell any items that could interfere with the gameplay. Now, at this point, you may be hearing this and thinking that it was the right decision. But at that time, this statement literally started a war. Hashtags Save Minecraft started trending on Twitter, and Mojang was being compared with companies like EA and Activision. Mojang started reminding everyone that the rule had been a part of their end-user license agreement for the last 3 years. But people countered, even if the rule was there, why was it not implemented for all those years and forced upon us only now? Notch, being the face of Minecraft and the founder of Mojang, had to bear most of the hate. Server owners started tweeting that because of him, they would lose their jobs, and people were literally cursing him. In the middle of this, Minecraft also launched Realms, meaning that by spending some money, players could start their own private servers. People criticized this as well, saying he was doing all this just to sell his own services. So the hate against Notch was increasing exponentially. I mean, if someone wakes up in the morning and sees thousands of people abusing him on Twitter and forums, and that too for something that isn't even their fault, it must have affected him. During this time, Notch watched a documentary called This Is Phil Fish. It reports the story of another game developer who got so much hate that he stopped game development and left social media. Notch started relating himself to that game developer. He didn't want to be hated, and especially since it was all because of Minecraft. He thought that disconnecting himself from it would make the hate go away. The very next day, June 17, 2014, he tweeted asking for any other company to buy Mojang because he couldn't take the hate for doing something right. And the funny thing is, within a few hours, Microsoft called up the CEO of Mojang, Carl, and asked if they were serious about the tweet. Even Activision and EA tried to buy it. Finally, on September 15th, 2014, Microsoft announced that they were buying the complete rights to Mojang Studios and Minecraft. In exchange for this, Notch would get $2.5 billion. He became a billionaire overnight. Yes, half of it was deducted as tax, but $1.3 billion was also a big amount that was still in his account. Out of that, he took out $70 million and bought a house in Beverly Hills, which was in itself one of the most expensive houses. And he used to either party, travel the world, or code for fun in his free time. But the good times weren't going to last much longer for him. He is kind of a straightforward person with absolutely no filter. You can look at it from a different perspective and say that he used to give his honest opinion about things. And because of this flaw, even his name was eventually removed from Minecraft. He used to be very active on platforms like Twitter and Reddit, writing whatever was on his mind. So if he was ever in a bad mood, then he would write about how lonely he was and that his wife wasn't with him, whom he had already divorced. Now, you know how the media works and how it can twist words. So articles were published saying that he was depressed. And being a billionaire, everybody wanted to know more about him. Although, when he was in a good mood, he used to say that everything was fine. Again, bad moods make him say that he is lonely, and that no one comes to meet him, and that even Mojang employees hate him. It was still okay until now, but later he started giving his opinion on many controversial topics, which obviously no one liked. Because of his frequent and controversial tweets, people started calling him racist, anti-feminist, and whatnot. Everyone can have opinions, and we usually discuss our controversial opinions with our friends. Or even if we posted them online, not a lot of people would read them. But Notch was a billionaire, and his game was being played by millions of people. So whatever he said became a big story, and this increased people's hatred towards him. A time came when even Microsoft clearly stated that they didn't agree with Notch's opinions, because as you can see, Microsoft is a corporate company, and if Notch kept posting controversial tweets, then players may start leaving Minecraft, which would result in a loss for them. So since 2019, they've been trying to disconnect Notch completely from Minecraft. Like, on the 10th anniversary of Minecraft, Notch wasn't invited. The texts related to Notch that used to appear on the home screen were also removed, including Made by Notch, and the work of Notch. All the Notch-related references in the game were also removed. Even even his name was removed from the opening credits. So the reason Notch sold the company was so that people would start liking him again. But he was being even more hated than before. And this is the tragedy of his life, that he has billions but no one to spend them on. People made many friends while playing his game, but he has no friends. He gave gamers a new world, and now this world wants to forget him, and he is responsible for it to quite an extent. He can't do much about it except curse Microsoft and say that he made a mistake by selling Minecraft, and he's not happy with its current status. He does say that he'd make a new game or start a new company, for which he still has enough money left, but then he also doesn't want to get entangled in the same shit again.